Hey everybody, I'm Shannon Somerville here with Tyler Wiemann. And guess what? Underdog Fantasy is at it again. A $10 million pool for their best ball fantasy for this year. Winner gets $2 million, $1 million to second, $1 million to the regular season winner. But you got to be in it to win it. We also have a link below that'll take you right to Underdog Fantasy so you can get in on the action. And you'll also get 3 free months of Line Star with a minimum deposit of $10. So that's right below. Right now that we're going to get into maybe some strategies. Maybe you haven't played best ball before. It's a little bit different than your average fantasy league. So first of all, just tell me how it works.
All right. So best ball NFL fantasy is a lot like having your own fantasy football league. However, you don't make any waiver wire moves. You don't trade. It's just the best part of fantasy football, which is drafting and then watching to see how your team does throughout the season.
So because of that, though, I'm sure you have to employ some different strategies because you don't have the luxury of being able to drop a guy who's injured or pick up somebody who's just been awesome. So
absolutely,
when you approach your draft, what is the main differences between that and regular season-long fantasy?
So one thing is that you do need to draft backup running backs because we all know running backs are going to get hurt and they become, very critical down the stretch when most running backs get hurt.
Sure.
So that's one thing. You have to know kind of what's going on with the depth chart, and really kind of hone in on that to get the upper hand. So another thing is like last year, Cordarrelle Patterson had a tremendous year.
Sure.
But he went almost undrafted in these leagues.
Wow.
So, and he's somebody that like there was a lot of question marks, years before. It's like, is he a running back? Is he a wide receiver? What is he? And he ended up getting most of the snaps at running back and being a huge fantasy asset.
So a big part of it too is do your research first and foremost.
Yes.
Know who's going to be in good situations where they could see a lot of catches, especially at the beginning of the season when you kind of don't know where guys are going to fall on the depth chart. So that's important, right?
Absolutely. So you want to know the depth charts. You want to be drafting guys that have high ceilings. If you're drafting guys that it's like, yeah, they're going to get 3 catches every game, but like they're not going to get multiple touchdowns and all that, might be worth passing on them and getting somebody that has a higher ceiling.
Now, there is some strategy involved here when you're looking at different positions. You can go almost like a stacking situation like we always talk about for daily fantasy sports, and just you want to stack sometimes. How does that play into it?
So with how the best ball schedule works, there's week 1 through 14 is your regular season. And you need to advance through that to get into the playoffs. But once you come into the playoffs, they're 1 week. So stacking is important really in those weeks because that is how you're going to be able to kind of advance and get a little higher score than the rest of the people in your league.
Right. And I think we already kind of touched on this, but basically in this sort of a situation, the computer's already doing the hard work for you in terms of calculating the score. So it's automatically your best score every week, regardless. I mean, it's not like I'm starting this guy over this guy situation. It's just it's automatically going to calculate the best possible lineup for
exactly.
you.
Like, I think it was week 15 last year where Joe Burrow had his like huge, amazing game with Higgins. So if you had them that week, having those 2 guys like pretty much made you advance.
So there's handcuffing is also crucial.
Handcuffing, I would say there's different advantages to it.
Okay.
If you really like a backfield, like let's say Minnesota, where it's Dalvin Cook and Madison, where Madison's going to step in if Cook gets hurt. I get handcuffing there because you're just taking that backfield. But if you're, say, a Patriots backfield, then no. Like, I wouldn't want to because you have no idea what Belichick is ever going to do.
So it just really depends on the sort of situation for every team, and also, an important thing to look at is what teams are doing. Are they a run team? Are they those things are important.
Totally. And is there pass share going to change throughout the from last season to this season? Or another thing to look at is how fast the offensive plays.
Mm-hmm.
Like some Seahawks, for instance, play super slow. So you may not want that many Seahawks. I mean, especially now because Wilson's gone.
Sure.
But even last year, it's like, they have like mid 50s in plays where the Bengals get up to like 70 plays regularly. So there's going to be a big difference in offensive output just based on that.
Another thing you just touched on is who's the quarterback, because that's hugely important. And we've had so much movement at the quarterback position in the league this offseason. So it's so important when you're looking and almost reevaluating guys depending on how things have shaken out with this crazy offseason.
Yeah. I mean, look at the AFC West. Now it has Carr, who has more weapons. Mm-hmm. There's Wilson going to the Broncos. They have plenty of weapons. The Chiefs, obviously, and then the Chargers. All of those teams could be in shootouts.
Yeah. So another thing when I was kind of looking up this contest is like it's really important also when you're actually in the draft is to pay really close attention to how certain positions are going, and if quarterbacks are going fast, you need to get them. So you have to almost be counting in your head, knowing where things are going in that draft.
I would say you absolutely want to make sure you get one of the top 10, 12 quarterbacks. You can wait a little bit on some guys and hope you hit a diamond in a rough. Mm-hmm. But you definitely want to make sure you have like some upside there. You don't want to just be kind of getting by.
Sure. Any other strategies that we didn't touch on that are important for?
So I would say when you're going into your draft, you want to look at a couple things. This contest is really interesting because there's a lot of ways to think about it. One, it's you want to get your team through to the second round or hopefully the finals, but then you also need to maximize your chance there. So there's two ways of thinking. It's like, well, do I want to just have a balanced kind of lineup?
Yeah.
And give myself the best chance to advance? Or do I want to stack and really hope I just get super lucky in the playoffs and one of my 2-3 stacks really comes through? So those are a few things you want to think about when you're coming to draft.
Which one do you employ?
I've been going stack, and then I've also been thinking about it when I'm going through the draft. Say I draft 2 running backs early. Mm-hmm. I'm probably not going to draft another running back until 8th, 10th round, something like that, because I've already put so much capital towards running back.
Yeah.
That at that point, I'm just looking to try and hit one of the injuries or hit a Cordell Patterson type situation to really get lucky. Because if one of those 2 running backs gets hurt early in the season,
which
I'm
can
probably
happen.
Done. Absolutely. I'm probably done if that happens.
We've seen that happen.
I don't want to spend too much capital and keep making that one position super strong. Maybe I'd spread it out to wide receiver a little more.
Another thing that's important, similarly in regular fantasy drafts, is, of course, keeping track of bye weeks, right?
Yes. You don't want 3 quarterbacks on the same bye week. You would get a 0 for that week.
Not be good.
Which obviously would hurt your overall chances of advancing.
How much do you like this kind of format versus some of the others?
I actually enjoy it a ton. And over the last couple of years, I've started using this as my way of studying for my friends, season-long leagues. Because one, it's actually real drafting. It's fun. I don't have to look at it again throughout the season. I can just kind of track it as it goes. And it's the best part of fantasy football, which is drafting.
And the best part, of course, is the prize money. Hello, $10 million in prize pool money. So the winner, again, gets $2 million. Yes. Second place, $1 million. It's nothing to sneeze at, folks. Another $1 million to the regular season winner. And once again, you can click the link below. It'll take you to Underdog, and you'll also get 3 free months of LineStar. That's our awesome sports analytics app that'll give you everything you need to dominate your fantasy football league. It's going to be a great season. Super excited. The
Can't
NFL
wait.
draft. We got a bunch of studs coming into the league. It's going to be so much fun. Remember to get that with that 3 free months of Line Star. It's a minimum deposit of $10, just to let you know that. And you can click the link below. If you have any questions, comments, Tyler
it
can
in the
help you.
comments. Yep,
If you want to
I'll
know
be there.
who you want to draft, let us know. Have any questions, just drop them in the comments. Click like and subscribe if you want some more of these videos, and just keep up to date with everything that we're doing here at Line Star. Good luck in your draft, and we'll see you next time.